Alright, so all the heirlooms are cool and all, and I get it, they're supposed to bring out part of the legend, a part of themselves, but let's be honest, some of these heirlooms are a little overrated. Hello, I'm FirePug if you guys are new. First of all, welcome to my channel. Second of all, if you aren't already, I'd really appreciate it if you'd consider subscribing. It helps get more Apex Legends like this on your YouTube feed. It's totally free to you and helps me out a ton. I really do appreciate every single subscription. In this video, we are literally just going to go through and talk about heirlooms, how they look, and this is all going to be my personal opinion. Alright, you are definitely going to disagree with me on a lot of things I'm going to bring up. And I encourage you to share your opinion in the comments with me. I'll probably reply unless you're calling me dumb or something, then I'll call you dumb back or something. Anyways, we're just going to go ahead and go through all the heirlooms here. Firstly, we're going to start off with Wraith and the Kunai. Alright, this one, it's not underrated at all. This was the first heirloom to come out. Very simplistic, yet very cool. Since it was the first one, they weren't all super fancy with all the animations and stuff like that. Honestly, I'm a fan with that. I know Wraith mains that have it. I've played on a Wraith mains account that had it, and it just feels so good when you're playing in game and just that knife's flipping around. Kunai definitely deserves all the hype that was behind it when it first came out, and all the hype that's behind it now. By no means underrated. Next, we're going to go with Bloodhound's Raven's Bite. Now this one, I'm a Bloodhound main, so maybe I'm a little biased. You can disagree with me. Again, share that in the comments. But this one I like a lot. This one's one of my favorites. It's hard for me to pick out a favorite, but this one's definitely going to be competition for that. This one I love playing with it. Again, like the Kunai, it feels really smooth to run around with. The animation is a little step up from the Kunai. There's a little bit better inspect stuff. And I personally think it fits Bloodhound pretty well, and it's just awesome to play with. It looks super cool. Again, not underrated at all, and I think deserves all the hype that's behind it. Lifeline's Shock Sticks. Again, I know a guy who got this out of an Apex pack before he could choose which heirloom he got. He was pretty hyped because this is a good one, and I agree, this is a good one. I don't like it as much as the Kunai or Raven's Bite. However, this is still definitely a good heirloom, and I'm not going to say it's underrated at all. Pathfinder's Boxing Gloves. Alright, this is where I might get some people disagreeing with me. This is cool. It fits Pathfinder's character, and it's a fun heirloom. With the Kunai and the Raven's Bite, they sort of went with, like typical melee weapons, then they started progressing away from that, getting a little bit more fun and creative with these, especially starting with the Shock Sticks, and with the Boxing Gloves it just really fulfills Pathfinder's character. A lot of people don't like the Boxing Gloves simply because it takes up a lot of space on the screen. But if you're wearing this heirloom, you probably really don't care about that little bit. It's not really going to affect your gameplay all that much, and you just want it there because it looks cool. The animation with this one, that's pretty solid animation. Pretty cool heirloom overall, but in my opinion, I have to say it is the worst of the four I've talked about so far. Octane's Butterfly Knife, when this one came out, it was really mixed. Some people thought it was super awesome, some people thought it absolutely was like not that good at all and they could have done a way better job, and a few people were in the middle saying it was alright. I personally think this one is awesome. I think the animation with it where he's twirling around and stuff, that's just super cool. I think this one's underrated by a lot of people. I think this is definitely one of the better heirlooms. And I hate to say it, I think I like this one a little bit more than the Kunai. Moving on to Mirage's Too Much Wit. Alright, so the statue, this is one of those ones where it's like, it's kind of cool, I get it, but I just don't like it. I'm going to admit, I think this one is overrated. It's cool he has a statue as an heirloom. I think the animation's cool, but the fact that he's running around and whacking people with the statue, I don't know. It's just not the same as the others. This is where they really got creative with this one, and I have to admit, I think it is cool. I'm saying that, but definitely overrated. I'm not a big fan. This is the worst out of all of them we've gone through so far. My personal opinion, I think his heirloom should have been a giant pork chop, and then he could run around whacking people with a pork chop. Moving on to Caustic. Caustics, I'm going to admit right away, is pretty cool. Definitely not underrated at all. It is a giant sledgehammer with a caustic mask on it. Even poofs out a little bit of gas. This one's cool. This one's solid. Not much to say. It's a solid heirloom. Gibraltar's War Club. I'm going to go with the same thing. This one's pretty cool. When this first came out, I thought it was a little interesting looking. However, I've kind of gotten used to it now. I used to think it was a little weird, but now this is a solid heirloom. Animations on all of these that I've mentioned so far have they've been stepping up as we get to the more recent ones. I'm going in chronological order. Gibraltar's is definitely solid. Rampart's Wrench, Problem Solver. This is obviously very fitting for Rampart, who is a mechanic. And the wrench also does duo as a melee weapon. So this one's pretty solid. When comparing it to the rest of the heirlooms, honestly, it's pretty middle of the road. I did skip Bangalore and Revenant. So we're going to go to Bangalore. This one came out right after Gibraltar's. It's called Cold Steel. It's a knife with the sheath. This one was pretty cool. I think people were looking for a little bit more. When this one dropped, I heard more people complaining about this one than most of the other ones in the past, other than Mirage's statue. I got nothing to say. Like Ramparts, it's middle of the road, maybe a little overrated. Revenant's Heirloom, this one, this is again one of my favorites. This is just super awesome. He's got this giant, they call it Dead Man's Curve. It's super awesome. Animations with this were cool. The Respawn team did a great job with this one. This is definitely one of my favorites. Not overrated at all, and underrated by anyone who says otherwise. Next, we had Ramparts I already talked about, and we're moving on to Wattson's Energy Reader. When this one came out, there was definitely a lot of criticism just because it's kind of funky. And like Mirage's statue, it's not really a melee weapon, which I guess it really doesn't matter. It's supposed to be, themed towards the character and who they are. So I get it. Animations and cool and all. It fits Wattson's theme, who is sort of a professional electrician among other things. If anyone says this is one of the best heirlooms in the game, then they are simply overrating it. Crypto's Baiwan Blade. This one is another one I think is super awesome, mostly because it's literally a giant sword. Like that's just sweet. I think they did a great job with this one. I don't think it's one of my favorites, but I think this is definitely one of the better ones. I like the kunai, I like Raven's Bite, I like Octane's, I like Revenant's Dead Man Curve a little bit more than this one, but this one's right up there with those as well in my opinion. So if anyone says the Baiwan Blade is bad, then they're simply underrating it. This is a great heirloom. Lastly, we get to Valkyrie's Heirloom. This one just came into the game with the most recent collection event that's going on now. If any of you are Valk mains, I would recommend getting this one because this, again, just like Crypto's Baiwan Blade, I'd put it right next to that one. Not in my top tier competition for my absolute favorite, but definitely one of the better ones the game has ever brought out. If there's anyone out there that says this heirloom sucks, which I haven't heard anyone say that, then they are definitely underrating it. This is, again, a great heirloom, and I honestly have nothing to complain about. They did a great job with this one. Animations are cool. This is a very solid heirloom for Valkyrie. And to quickly mention Loba's heirloom, it's a little overdue. They should have brought it out already. However, it is likely coming out with the next season, so if any of you Loba mains watching this wondering where yours is, it is probably coming out next season. Again, make sure to share your opinion with me down in the comments. Thank you all for watching. I will see you later.